everybody who blames parents and childhood trauma for what's happening to them right now, they're wrong.
Go on. I'm not committing.
Yeah. I'm a parent now, so I'm very careful about what I say. Okay. So one is that. And the second thing you're saying is there are now tools to actually train your mind to make that big elephant look like an ant. It is possible.
Absolutely. I have no doubt about that. This bit I have no doubt about. The first thing that you said about parenting and all, no, I'm going to say something which all rational psychiatrists are going to murder me for. It's a very Freudian kind of concept. Several decades ago, we were talking about this. There's a concept, but I think it's extremely relevant.
Okay.
It's a concept called tabula rasa. Tabula means plate. Or let's say a tablet, tabular tablet, like you have your iPad and all. Rasa means empty or blank. So it is believed that when a child is born, his brain is like an empty slate.
Okay.
Or an empty tablet. If you are a teacher in a school, you go to a class, there are 8 periods every day. You go to a class, it's a 35-minute class, you teach English. So for those 35 minutes, you write whatever you want, quotations, etc. on the blackboard. At the end of 35 minutes, the bell rings, what do? You pick up that duster, wipe the blackboard, or there's one child in the class who's the designated blackboard monitor who does it. Then the Hindi teacher comes in, again writes 35 minutes, clean everything. Maths, physics, chemistry, blah, blah, blah. At the end of 8 classes on that day, if anyone looks at the blackboard, he will have no clue what was ever written there. So 8 classes a day, let's say you have 200 working days in a year, 1,600 classes. At the end of the year, no one ever knows what was written. As opposed to this concept of tabula rasa or blank slate is that when a child is born, his brain is an empty slate. And people start writing on it. It starts with the parents. They will write whatever the child experiences, whatever is said to the child, whatever is done to the child is recorded on that slate. In fact, now, you said you become a parent now. So when you were in the process of becoming a parent, you would have been told, listen to music, talk to the baby and all. Yeah. So the principle behind that, again, in non-scientific terms is that when you start talking to the child when the child is inside the womb, you are beginning that scripting.
Wow.
That blank tablet is already being filled when the child...
So the Abhimanyu story is actually true. Scientifically proven.
There we go. There we go. So, okay, psychiatrists don't kill me. So as the child keeps growing, so the parents start writing, if it's a joint family or even otherwise, grandparents, then there are siblings, the maids at home, nannies, school, blah, blah. You start going to the park, play with kids, teachers, friends in school, everything. Whatever happens is written on the slate. The difference is that nothing ever gets erased. What a child is at any stage of his or her life is a manifestation of the composite or sum total of those scripts. Nothing gets erased, but like you said a few minutes back, can be attributed to bad parenting, blah, blah, blah. Let's say parenting happened, some scripting happened. We have the ability to overwrite scripts. A script is a script. The plate does not know, or the tablet does not know who's writing. Let's say Sanjay Chugh decides, this script is not good. Let me see what I can do to overwrite this. Because if what I was yesterday was the sum total of all my 64 years and let's say 92 days, what I am today is the sum total of 64 years and 93 days because something more has happened to me. So this scripting is an ongoing process. So if you say that because of your early childhood experiences in adolescence and all,
but you have the power. You and I as human beings have the power to rewrite that script.
Absolutely. So when we say bring about change, the world is not going to change to accommodate you. No one changes to suit your convenience. Expecting other people to change because it suits you, makes you feel better is a fallacy which I call fallacy of change. People around you, the world around you, they are as likely to change for you as you are likely to change for them.
Not always true.
If one person comes to you and says, you changed for me, you'll say, I like this person and she needs it or he needs it, let me change. If 50 people come to you, you'll say, go to hell, man. I can't keep doing it all the time.
Yeah.